It's fantasy booking time once again here on SCW, and today the task I have given myself is to book MJF in All Elite Wrestling for the rest of 2022, because MJF has been in the headlines of late, of course, been rumoured to be unhappy with his contract situation in All Elite Wrestling. Of course, then there was the Double or Nothing weekend, no showing the meet and greet. Was he going to be getting a plane ticket out of Las Vegas on the Saturday evening? He did turn up on the pay-per-view on Sunday, losing to Wardlow, and then, well, there's meant to be a brief discussion with him and Tony Khan before Dynamite, and then MJF was given a live microphone on Dynamite to express his thoughts and feelings, and my goodness, one of the greatest worked shoot promos, in my opinion, of all time. He did not hold back, did he? Having a go at the fans, saying that they were saying he can't wrestle, and he's proven he can wrestle. He can make you feel things. He hasn't got to do what other people do in the back, the things that are reckless, dropping people on their heads. He has that ability to do something different that other superstars just can't do, and that's make you feel. He had a dig at Tony Khan signing ex-WWE guys, most who couldn't lace his boots, saying that people wanted his spot on the card, they could have it, he didn't want to be there anymore. And of course, having a go at Tony Khan, saying he should be over the barricade with the fans, and also threatening to fire him, you Mark. That's right, those words came out of MJF's mouth, and of course then obviously his microphone was cut, the camera was cut, we went to commercial break, and of course then when we came back, no mention was made of it whatsoever. So what's next in All Elite Wrestling with MJF? Well, of course, he's been taken off their roster page. The merchandise has been taken off as well. Those are great starts in my opinion, and I'm going to take it from this point onwards and fantasy book it and how I would do it for the rest of the calendar year. Starting with this week's Dynamite, of course, we're going to start the road to crowning an interim world champion. Now, CM Punk has injured himself and won't be around for a while. Of course, CM Punk was limping to the rings. The first signs we got of it when MJF was to run out the ring, jump over the barricade. So no longer will we see MJF for the time being. We're not going to see CM Punk either. We've got a battle royale, and the winner of that will take on John Moxley later in the evening. Should MJF be a part? No, he shouldn't be a part of it at all. In fact, I'd have someone ask Tony Khan, is MJF going to be taking part? Is he going to show up tonight? And Tony Khan can say, look, I don't want to focus on that tonight. I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to focus on the here and the now. What we can focus on, what I'm willing to talk about, is this battle royal and the fact that we are going to crown a brand new AEW interim world champion who will eventually go on to take on CM Punk later down the road. If we're going to just get my winner for this at this moment, it would be John Moxley. Of course, whoever wins the battle royal then has to go through Moxley. For me, Mox is a beast on his own. So for me, I'd have Moxley from AEW, and of course we're going to have someone from New Japan as well, which I would have Tanahashi. That would be the match that I would build for the interim championship at Forbidden Door. But what I would do a couple weeks before, I'd have Tony Khan break his silence. After being asked on a few shows, whether it being Beating the Elite, maybe Dark Elevation, Rampage, Dynamite, you name it, Tony Khan will have where he breaks his silence and make it a big factor on the show. And he can say, look, we've taken MJF off of our roster page, we've dropped the merchandise, and the fact is now he's suspended. He doesn't want to be here. Well, as you can see, we don't have him here. But the thing is, while he's suspended, he is suspended without pay. And if he thinks anything, he can think about his contract running out. It's frozen at this point. It's exactly the same as what perhaps another company, WWE, might do to their talents at this point, and ironically may have done with a couple of their talents. This is ironic timing, but certainly I think that would make a lot of sense. You know, MJF, then don't cross the boss. You know where you stand. You can't go off and do anything else. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the next chapter would be. And for me, that chapter would come at Forbidden Door, because we'd have Moxley versus Tanahashi. It's the dream match that a lot of people want to see. We wanted to see it in New Japan for a long time. John Moxley would pick up the victory, become the interim AEW World Champion as he's celebrating at the end of the night, which of course this would be the main event. He is attacked from behind by MJF. MJF makes a dramatic return, grabs the microphone, and then says, Forbidden Door, AEW versus New Japan, that's not the Forbidden Door. I'm the Forbidden Door. I'm not meant to be here. I'm meant to be suspended, but you can't keep me off the television screens. You can't keep me from doing what I want to do. And it's ironic you have one of these ex-WWE guys here winning the championship when you could be pushing some of the talent that actually makes a difference on your roster, some of the people that haven't been somewhere else before, someone that can move the needle without having to have been in WWE. And while he's at it, maybe he can have a dig at the fans as well and say, who actually watches New Japan anyway? I've not even heard of half of these guys. What is this event? Has Tony Khan put on this event just to make you Virgin Marks happy? The Forbidden Door is based around me, and if Tony Khan, you cut my mic in any way, shape or form, I will do worse in actions than what I can do in words, and you darn well know I can do a lot with words. I am back. You are not suspending me. I am going to be here, and I am going to do what it takes to become your next AEW World Champion, because I realise that's the only way I get paid the big bucks. It's the only way I'm going to be taken notice of. It is the only way I can save this company from what it's becoming, which is a place of ex-WWE guys. This place should be built around MJF. This is my house. I should be the world champion. Do I want to be here? No, but if you're going to freeze my contract, I might as well be here, because in that way my contract can be run down, and if I'm going to run it down, I might as well be your world champion while I'm at it. So we move then onwards to the next episode of AEW Dynamite. Tony Khan refuses to lift the suspension of MJF. He says no, he's not welcome here. He made his feelings clear before. He did what he said in front of all those TV execs. They don't want him here, and I don't want him here either. Like I said, the contract's frozen. He should stay at home. Instead, we're going to focus on the talent that do want to be here and the talents that should push the company going forward. Jon Moxley, on the other hand, though, wants MJF back. He says, look, I need to get my revenge. He beat me down. I want to get a piece of MJF. But Tony Khan still says, look, this isn't just any regular AEW Dynamite. I can't give you MJF tonight. You've already got a match. Remember, this is blood and guts. Of course, we've got the Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston, Proud and Powerful, going against the Jericho Appreciation Society. And the good news of this match is that, of course, the Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston, and Proud and Powerful pick up the victory against the JAS. Revenge is taken here. But of course, after the match as well, everyone's going towards the back. And as Jon Moxley is still celebrating on the rampway, he is attacked by MJF, who has somehow managed to get over the barricade, perhaps onto the rampway, to make that attack happen. This is now going to become a regular pattern. Every show that we see with AEW, MJF is going to make himself known, whether he's attacking someone in the back, whether he's actually, jumping over the barricade, coming into the ring. MJF is going to be noticed, and the thing is, he's always attacking ex-WWE talents. He's not going for the AEW originals. To the point that we get a big segment then set for the following week of AEW Dynamite. Tony Khan invites MJF to AEW Dynamite, to the point where he's willing to lift the suspension. But he says, if you think you're going to get yourself an AEW World Championship match, you've got another thing coming. If you think you can beat these ex-WWE guys, then why not prove yourself in the ring? Because the last time you was in the ring, well, one of them, at Revolutionary this year, you didn't fare too well. You came out on the losing end. So how about we put you in with some ex-WWE guys, seeing as you think that you're better? And we're going to start you tonight against Jeff Hardy. MJF says, that's fine. Put me in the ring with Jeff Hardy, a legend at one point. He's well past his best though. And let's be fair, by the time I'm done with him, he's going to want to run over the barricade himself and never come back and quit another wrestling company. We get to the action later in the evening, and MJF actually does pick up the victory over Jeff Hardy. And surprisingly, you'll note here, he doesn't cheat in this match to win. He can win it clean. He wants to prove that he can do it, which in a way kind of throws him in a little bit of a tweener role. It's a very realistic MJF here. It's not really babyface, it's usually heel, but he's sort of met somewhere in the middle here with this, because he has got a point to prove to himself as well. But of course, maybe if he gets himself in matches where he can't get the job done, maybe we might revert back to the old MJF. As the weeks continue, MJF overcomes all obstacles thrown in his way. Ex-WWE guys, he defeats the likes of Swerve Strickland, Christian Cage, even Samoa Joe. In fact, saying Samoa Joe wasn't he the champion of that other company when we beat them in the Wednesday Night War? We made them have to go to Tuesday nights. You know, we put away that guy. I'm going to put him back in the Raymac doing commentary by the time I'm finished with him. MJF overcomes that as well. And we get to a point where we get to fight for the Fallen. And if MJF is going to get this opportunity to go against the interim AEW World Champion Jon Moxley at All Out, he's got to overcome one more competitor, and that is another member of the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson. Let's not forget, Danielson is one of two guys that came in on the game-changing All Out from last year. That was where the big Swerve came in of WWE talent coming into AEW at its high point as well, along with Ruby Soho on that show. So yeah, we have the match between Danielson and MJF. And of course, this is the most difficult challenge of all of them. Bryan Danielson looking like that he may get the victory, and this is the first time that MJF feels he may have to go to his cheating tactics. But when he's put in the bell lock, he manages to get his foot on the rope, and he manages to get Bryan Danielson with some form of roll-up to pick up, if you want, a cheap victory, but certainly a victory nonetheless. He manages to escape the match, getting himself as the #1 contender to go for the interim world championship at AEW's All Out. What I think is quite fun with this in particular as well is that usually with an MJF feud, the superstar he is going against usually has to jump through hoops, go through superstars of MJF's choosing all the way through to get to the big boss at the end. This has almost made a role reversal for the first time, which obviously is something we haven't seen in AEW, which I think could be quite fun for MJF, the character, even for the fan dynamic, because I'm pretty sure that fans at this point would, even though they like booing him and are not on his side, I think a lot of people would come like, I want to see him win that championship. I think it could have a very sort of special moment if he was to get that at All Out. So on the build to All Out, probably got the sucker punches once again there. MJF, do you want to get a plane home? You're going to wish you did after you've been in the ring with Jon Moxley. We could even get the likes of, going after Jon Moxley with the rehab stuff, perhaps from MJF as well. But I think it will build nicely. We can have some beatdowns backstage as well, because Jon Moxley's been attacked from behind a few times. He finally gets what he wants, which is MJF. He's had to wait very patiently to get this main event match at All Out. And as we get to the match between these two, MJF looks like he is going to lose this match. He's not going to get the job done. Finally, we get the MJF that we're used to seeing. He's going to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring to knock out Jon Moxley and this time win the AEW World Championship. And of course, he did face Jon Moxley a couple of years ago at All Out and was not successful. This time, he gets the job done and becomes the interim World Champion. And of course, while then looking to celebrate, looking like it's his moment, the lights go out, the music hits, and we get the return of CM Punk, the actual AEW World Champion. And of course, these two can face off face to face in the ring. Both hold up their championships in the air as well. It is very similar to CM Punk and John Cena back in WWE back in 2011. And that can be highlighted on the build to their match, which will be set for Full Gear. MJF can say, look, this is exactly how we used to before when, two superstars holding championships up. Wasn't it the summer of Punk before? Well, now it's the summer of MJF. You've not even been around for your summer as world champion. I've been the one in the spotlight and making the headlines. But here's the difference, Punk. You had the summer of CM Punk all that time ago. It's all seasons when it comes to MJF. Couple of little tokens I would have just on the build going into this match. I would have MJF trying to get in the head of Hangman Adam Page and trying to remind him, you said that you wanted to do this for the AEW locker room at Double or Nothing and you didn't get the job done. You had the chance to make the championship in your hand. You should have used that to hit CM Punk at the time. And I would try and play that narrative if we can get a heel turn out of Hangman Adam Page, perhaps even to align himself with MJF going into the big match. And a big promise is made from MJF to Tony Khan, saying that just like 10 years ago with CM Punk, this time it's him that's going to walk away as the official AEW World Champion, and I'm going to be one going over the barricade, blowing a kiss, and then do you know what? As your champion, then I can go back and be suspended again, and you can have this show without a world champion. So the time is here. We're at Full Gear, and if anything, we've gone full circle. It is AEW World Champion versus AEW World Champion, CM Punk versus MJF, and I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with this match. Near falls, so they've had some classics already in the matches that they've had. I'd make this a nice long lengthy one, and as we get towards the end of the match, I want the idea that MJF actually is going to get the job done, to the point that Tony Khan is upset and comes to the ringside almost bolstering forward like a Vince McMahon. We're going to play to that storyline now, that Tony Khan has almost become a Vince McMahon because of the fact he keeps signing WWE talent. He's not focusing and being the Tony Khan that should be focusing on building a bright future of new stars in the wrestling business. And it looks like at that point a distraction is made, and it's enough for MJF to stop what he's doing for CM Punk to get back into the action. But we then get a referee bump, and of course at that point CM Punk looks like he's going to hit the go to sleep, only for a double cross from Tony Khan himself to deliver a low blow to CM Punk. MJF then uses the Dynamite Diamond ring, the referee comes into place, and we get a 1, 2, 3, and your champion is MJF, because we weren't going to have him turn babyface, right? Of course not. Instead of going over the barricade, instead of blowing that kiss goodbye, MJF goes up the ramp with Tony Khan, and at the top of the ramp is a table set up with an AEW contract, and MJF signs an extension. This company is all about him. It's all about his championship. It's all about the money. And for all those marks in the crowd, yeah, you've just been worked by MJF and Tony Khan, and you've been worked for 6 months. You think you know everything, reading the dirt sheets and everything like that. You have been fooled by us. And from that point onwards, if they want to continue that storyline going forward, they can even have an AEW versus ex-WWE guys within AEW. It could almost be like the Monday Night War, or perhaps even the Wednesday Night War in one company. So that's how I would book MJF then in AEW in 2022. The summer of MJF. How did I do? Let me know in the comments below. Is this something you would like to see play out on AEW TV? If you've enjoyed this video, then please like it, share it with a friend as well, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help the growth of the channel here on YouTube. If you would do anything differently, or you have an entirely brand new idea, then please do share it in the comments below. I look forward to reading your suggestions and also interacting with you as well. And while you're here, why not check out some of the videos on the Sunday screen right now. Thank you so much for watching as always. Take care, have a great day. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube. I'll see you next time.